Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal, the Black Machismo, and woo, the Nature Boy, and you're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show.
It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Talk the facts and let opinions blow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with the mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you its tag team champions of we are the world tag team champions. And this thing still is not putting me on the camera that I want to be on. So give me a second there. And there we go. Okay, now I am on the camera that I expected to be on all night. I wanted to be a little bit closer up to you. So Tino, I had an interesting week. I don't know about you because we really haven't connected since we sent some text messages last week about pro wrestling early in the week. So what is up with you, my friend?
Dude, what did we do? Last week after we got off the show, I just pretty much worked and went home. We went to Phillips Farm, the Phillips Fear Farm, Saturday night. Nicole and I and some friends from work and my best friend Paul. And it was
your other best friend, Paul.
Yeah, whatever. The one is, my best friend of almost 40 years, that dude. We were 14. So don't start that bullshit, because every time I turn around, Shane's your best friend. Kiss my entire black ass.
Hey, I have two best friends. That's all I can say there.
Whatever. But we went to the haunted farm. Yes, I was laughing at my wife because she's scared of clowns, but she wants to go. They have this thing called the Big Top Fun House. It's clowns. That's the one she wants to go in. I'll be.
You're like, sure.
I'll be okay this year. I'm like, no, the fuck you won't. No, the fuck you won't. And she wasn't. But it was fun. It was fun. We went to the slaughterhouse, the Big Top, and then we went on the haunted hayride through the thing. And it was cool. It was funny. My favorite story. She goes, "You always have to tell that story." Did I tell you about the time she made the character break character?
I don't know.
So a couple years ago when we went into this Big Top thing, right, where the clowns are,
Of course.
So you go through and the clowns, they jump out and they scare you. Well, we came to this one room and there's people behind me. She's in front of me because I'm like, get behind me. No, she wanted to try because she was going to try to rush through, right? So we get to this room and she stops. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Room's dark, except it's got a bed, a nightstand with a lamp, and sitting next to that nightstand with a lamp and a rocking chair.
It's a damn clown.
Yes. Right. And so the point is, you're supposed to go in and the room's dark, so you got to try to feel your way to find the door. She fucking froze because he just stopped. He was like, and just they slowly grin.
Mm-hmm.
Did that, and she's like, and she just
froze. Like,
and then she's getting ready to start crying. Dude finally he just like, ma'am, the door's over there. He broke character. I'm just like, you made the deep break character.
You ever been on a ride at a theme park with like kids, and all of a sudden like the kid starts screaming, so they stop the ride and let the kid off? You ever had that happen? That's what that sounds like happened with Nicole.
Yeah, but she did. I mean, she started to panic, and she was like, and I think the dude realized it, and he's like, "No, the door's over there."
I mean, there is a real phobia for clowns. I've used it in my trivia game. Like, what is the clear? And it's not clownophobia, which would be easy.
What it is, yeah.
Yeah, I've got it written down because obviously I've used it as a trivia question.
Yes,
but
we can't watch like It. She's never seen It. We can't,
God, it's funny you say that because Welcome to Derry is going to be starting here I think this weekend.
Yep.
The new It show by Mike Flanagan and obviously HBO, and it Bill Skarsgård is supposed to reprise Pennywise in it, so it's
awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So it's going to be interesting. But continue, please.
Yeah, and then we did that. So I know my wife, her bedtime, dude. She's not a night owl, right? So bedtime 8:30, 9 o'clock. She's usually like in bed. Maybe she's reading, but she's in the bed. So this thing didn't open till 8 and was done at 11, right? So she's down for that. because it was Saturday, so he had to get to work next day. And I'm like, dude, you know you're not gonna get till noon. No, I'll be up because I got stuff I have to do. So at 1 o'clock, she finally rolls out of bed. And so I just laugh. I'm like, dude, 23 years we've been together. I know you.
Yeah, you know exactly what it was. Something different happens. It's like, what? Why the fuck?
Yeah. So my new favorite thing is now, because she's got in a couple of weeks, she's going to get a sleep study. I'm like, we're gonna have matching CPAPs. She goes, she goes, I don't. I'm like, you're gonna get a CPAP. You need a CPAP. So it's funny because
we both know, like you and I know that it's like the best thing in the world. Like I finally got a new thing for my CPAP where it doesn't have anything that like goes in the nose, doesn't obstruct the nose at all. It's just got 2 openings right underneath the nose, right? So what it means is I can go back to sleeping on my stomach.
Yeah.
Because I can still, like, even with my face fully covered in the pillow, I could still breathe.
Right. Yeah.
So the only problem with it is I wake up and I got these 2 marks on my face every day. But I was a stomach sleeper for years. And then all of a sudden, when I started snoring really bad, I couldn't do it anymore. When I first got my CPAP, couldn't do it anymore. I got this new part for my CPAP. Now, granted, it goes through a lot more of the water in the chamber at this point, but I don't care.
You still have the hose. So how do you does the hose just hang off the bed, or how do you do that?
It's up above my head,
And
what I've done is I've run it up behind the bedpost, like the back bedpost, and now it runs down so that it's above my head, almost like when you watch those old cartoons of like aqua people like jumping in and they've just got the thing attached. That's exactly what it is. And you know what? I don't move enough because I give it slack. I don't move enough to where that actually does anything. So like I'm not worried about that at this point.
That's cool though.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
are you ever sleep with it now? I know you didn't like it because something like it made noise or something you couldn't sleep with it.
It still makes noise. And if I could figure out how to make the damn CPAP not make any noise, I'd be like golden. But as of right now, yeah, it still makes noise. So it wakes me up like twice a night, or whatever. But like
I love just sleep. Before, dude, I got that.
Well, compared to not being able to sleep.
Yeah, I was thinking all the time. Didn't know why. It's because I wasn't really getting much sleep, dude. I remember the first night I got that thing. My wife's like, I was always before, tossing and turning, stop breathing. So my first night, I told you this, the first night I had it, I was just kind of just laying still and sleeping. And she's like,
is he dead?
She punched me. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought you were dead. I was asleep.
What's up, Michael Turner? Thanks for reminding us it's chlorophobia. So that's funny. Yeah. Anything else going on? Anything else go on?
Let's see what I got this week. Last Tuesday went and saw Diana Ross. Did I tell you that?
The actual Diana Ross?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Second time, my father-in-law both times got his tickets.
Of course. That dude is all about the music.
Yeah, so him and Nicole, we saw her like years ago, and then this year she's back and she's sounding good. Looks the same. She's 81, dude, but she's still moving and just, yeah, dude. She's on the stage singing, is doing her thing. I'm like, okay. It was a good show.
So speaking of your father-in-law, obviously he has a knack for music, right? Mm-hmm. What does he think of your band? I've never asked that.
He's never seen this band. He loves Secondhand Flapjack. He went out a bunch of times to watch us play.
So you and Chris Overstreet?
Yeah. So he loved that, and the whole band. He loved that. I don't think he's been out to see this new band yet.
You got to get him out there to see.
Yeah.
In the socialites, the social casualties.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get him out there to see that.
Yeah, so he's big into music. Like I told you, he's a big Beatles fan. So I've seen McCartney, I've seen Ringo and his All-Stars when they've come. We go to see the Beatles, the tribute band. I've seen Billy Joel, I've seen Elton John. I've all these different. We've seen what's his name from Greece a couple of times. Frankie Valli. We've seen him a couple of times.
Frankie Valli, man. Like, have you seen the videos of him going out there and singing now?
And that's what he looks like. The last time we saw him, we were laughing because that's what he'll get. He will walk a little bit, but mostly they're going around him. But he is still singing at 90-something years old. He is still hitting those fucking notes. I'm like, how the hell?
Yeah, and it reminds me of Stan Lee.
Yeah,
Like Stan Lee at 98 years old would show up at like 2 conventions a year. He'd wave to the crowd, and he'd be
still sharp up here, but they're just slower moving.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? You don't necessarily. It's I liken it to this. Kathy Ireland follows me on X, right?
Oh,
remember Kathy Ireland,
swimsuit
model for Sports Illustrated. She was in the movie Necessary Roughness as the kicker. She follows me on Twitter. Okay,
how did you do that?
I don't know, but she's actually responded to me when I write to her and everything else, which is pretty freaking cool.
You sure it's really her?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a verified account.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. John Cena also follows me, but he follows like everybody that follows him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kathy Ireland follows me, and when people sit there, I liken it to that whole statement of the Frankie Valli thing. It's like let's say I was lucky enough to ever sleep with Kathy Ireland, right? Never gonna happen. But even today, if the possibility came up, I would say yes. And the reason why is because on my tombstone, whatever was going on, it would say, also slept with Kathy Ireland. That's what it's like to see Frankie Valli now at 97 years old. It's like, I still saw him.
Yep.
I have artwork, I have drawings from some of the most amazing comic book artists of all time, like Neil Adams, Todd McFarlane, Bernie Wrightson. 2 of those 3 have passed away now. So the fact that I actually own original artwork from them is a big deal.
Too, right? I know you have a Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah. Actually, my Bernie Wrightson is right behind the metal Dreadmutt right now.
Okay.
And then my Jim Lee's right there as well. But yeah, so right behind where my finger is my Bernie Wrightson drawing. But like, you can't get those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that did actually lead to something this past like 2 weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
Apparently there's a robot in the world now that is officially licensed to sign Stan Lee's autograph.
Are you serious?
And not only is it a perfect signature, but now the grading companies are okaying it as authentic. How fucked up is that?
I don't know.
I think that that's very similar to saying that, AI is doing all this stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have a problem with it because a signature from Stan Lee shouldn't be available now unless you're buying it secondhand. You should not be able to buy an authentic Stan Lee autograph 2025. He's passed away.
And what's stopping people from saying that it's older than it is and trying to make money off of it?
Well, the whole thing is that there's a company out there trying to make money off of it anyway. That's the whole point, and if the grading companies are saying it's authentic, then his signature becomes, like the penny. It becomes like worth nothing. So it kind of disappoints me that and this goes back to the whole thing that Stan Lee for so long was actually being exploited while he was, old. They were basically taking advantage of him. All of his handlers and everything were getting all this stuff signed by him, stealing his money, doing all this crazy shit that, like a 98-year-old man shouldn't have. Now, granted, as a comic book, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a historian, but I know quite a bit about the history of comic books. I think that it's unfair that people seem to credit Stan Lee with all of the Marvel Comics creations when we know that they were created by other people in a lot of cases, including Jack Kirby, John Romita, and Steve Ditko. So I mean, it's interesting with all that stuff. Get her to sign her swimsuit issues.
You saw that?
Thanks, Michael.
I was getting ready for you to take a breath. I was going to say, you check out what Michael said.
Yeah, I checked it out. So Tino, me this week. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if you remember, but I got done doing trivia at like 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. You know, I came home, I started watching or not Impact, but AEW, and then all of a sudden I looked at the clock and it's like midnight, right? And I'm like,
It's
shit,
like,
I have to be at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. So my Fitbit tells me that day I got an hour and 52 minutes of sleep.
damn.
I was on the flight. Now the flight didn't take off till 6 o'clock, but I was on the flight at 6. Got into Orlando at like 7:30. Got to the hotel, and then my sister had to go to work, so she was working on her work laptop. And Shane and I took off to Animal Kingdom. We were there. No nap, no nothing. Like I changed clothes because I was wearing jeans and I was wearing a sweatshirt and everything. You know, because you get to Orlando, it's 78 degrees at 6, at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we went to Animal Kingdom and we did trying to think of what rides we did that were there. We did the Avatar. We did the Avatar ride.
Did you do the Yeti? That's my favorite. What was the
So I did not do the Yeti because both of us were like, we've done the Yeti before.
That's my favorite.
The only cool thing about the Yeti is it goes backwards. You know,
that's my favorite.
Well, you already know that I'm not a big coaster guy.
Yeah.
So coasters normally are out, but we did the Flight of Passage. You know, the Avatar one where you put the thing, you basically, what's up, Mr. Helios? Rob is the Yeti. That's about accurate.
That one got Nicole sick because she gets motion sickness.
So
she had to sit down for like 20 minutes after we did that. She's about to throw up.
So I love the Flight of Passage. So we basically ran right to that, did that, then just started walking around. We did the safari, we did all that stuff.
Did you do the Avatar, the boat ride, the Avatar? That's better at night though.
We did the Avatar boat ride, and I could care less about the stupid boat ride. Like it looks cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's better at night.
But like compared to the ride,
oh yeah,
where you actually feel the bird between your legs and everything. Like you gotta close. Like Shane halfway through the ride goes, "Oh shoot, I forgot that you have to close your legs on it so you feel the bird breathing."
Stupid.
So we did that. We basically did everything that we could in Animal Kingdom that we wanted to. We stopped for a couple cocktails at one of the places. We weren't drinking super heavy or anything because we were meeting Michelle, my sister, for dinner. So we end up doing the boat ride towards the end of the day, right? And there's this woman who is sitting next to us on the boat, and she goes, "Is this supposed to be the really cool ride?" And I was like, "Oh no, you need to do." And she goes, "Oh, so Flight of Passage is the cool one." And she's like, "Is it worth the 35-minute wait?" And I'm like, "If it's down to 35 minutes, it's absolutely worth it because the 35 minutes is just going to be the walk up the thing to get into the ride. As soon as like you'll get up there and like 5 minutes later, you'll be done the ride and you'll be like, wow, okay, let me just do it again." Because that 35-minute, like it really is about a 30-minute walk. Then you wait in line for like 5 minutes and then you're on the ride. And it's like, wow, okay. You know, none of their times were right, which is great because they were all underselling and over delivering, if you will. So we did Flight of Passage one more time, and then we're like, all right, now that we did that, and then as we're getting ready to leave the park, Shane looks at me and goes, "Do you want to do Flight of Passage one more time just because it's down to like 35 minutes?" And I'm like, I'm kind of exhausted. At this point, I was at like 19,000 steps for the day. We've been up, I'd basically been up since 4 a.m. with only 2 hours of sleep. So I was like, nah, let's just get going. So we left. But he did the safari. We saw every animal was out. The lion was even sitting up, which he almost never is. Yeah, he's normally, like just sleeping. Someone on the bus actually got told not to whistle at the lion.
Why?
Well, I guess you're not supposed to whistle at it. Then we went to one of the restaurants out So we went to the it's called Boma, and it's at Jumbo House. It's their buffet dinner.
Okay.
But I mean, you still can get like prime rib. You can get like everything, and it's so good. Second day, my sister had the day off from work, so we went to Epcot. We started the Food and Wine Festival, but before we did that, we did one of the few things that is at Disney now that I have not done yet, which was the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster.
That fucking thing.
And we walked up, and it told us that the wait was 65 minutes, and we had set a rule: if it said more than 60 minutes, we weren't doing it. And Shane was like, "It's 5 minutes. We can go over the rule. It's fine." Took us 35 minutes to get through. Because again, it was the entire walk up to the top of the thing. And that queue is really cool because they have it set up where like there's like a newscaster interviewing all of the different Guardians of the Galaxy. So you've got Groot just sitting there going, "I am Groot." And Rocket's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. Like, let's go ahead and talk about what he just said."
That ride is fucking phenomenal.
My favorite part before the actual ride, obviously Drax is hilarious because you get Peter Quill sit there and say, "Oh, piece of cake," and he goes, "There's going to be cake," and then he says something else about another food, and he's like, "Why are we?" He said it's like butter on toast or something like that, and he goes, "Now there's going to be toast. Why am I getting so hungry?" And then you get on the ride, and he's actually eating the Zarg nuts again.
Yep.
But for those that haven't done it, it's a coaster. It's an indoor coaster similar to like a Space Mountain, except it spins each one of the coaster
the carts.
Yeah, like separately, and there's only 2 people in each of the cart. Well, there's 4 people, I guess. There's 2 rows, but as you're spinning and everything, you're still going down the coaster, and you're watching this giant video screen with like a fight scene with them going against the giant Eternal or something. And Tino and I off air were talking about how every time you actually do the ride, it's got different music.
And it's all music from the 80s because that's what what's his name, the lead character in the Walkman. That's what it's supposed to be. Is music from his Walkman, his playlist.
Yeah, because even the monster sits there and goes, "What is that noise?" And he goes, "Don't talk that bad about rock and roll."
Yeah.
Or whatever. We ended up hearing, I think, what was it? The song that goes, "And I ran so far away."
Yeah, Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls. Yeah, we heard Flock of Seagulls. Shane was singing that song because apparently that's a song that when he was running track way back when he was in college, that was something he'd listened to. "I ran so far away." and then we heard another one too, and I thought it was I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was awesome. And the music fits seamlessly into the ride. It starts backwards, it goes forwards, it goes backwards. The fact that it's spinning you as you're going down. And for me, someone who doesn't like coasters, because when I was like 9 years old, I was flipped upside down in a what are they called?
Loop?
No, not a loop, but the Ferris wheel. But it was like the old-fashioned Ferris wheel where it would actually turn upside down as you were going through it. Well, it got stuck upside down when I was like 9 years old. So, we were stuck for like 20 minutes. So I'm sitting there freaking out. So now anytime a ride goes upside down, I don't like to do it. So we did. So this one obviously doesn't do that. And again, it's an indoor coaster. I think they said it's the biggest indoor coaster in the world. I could be wrong there. But it's really cool. And so we did it, and then we got done, and then we immediately started going to the Food and Wine Festival because that's what we were really there for. So we ended up having I don't know, 15 different beers over the 2 days that we were at Epcot. We ended up we did do the Ratatouille ride, which if you hadn't done that one before, that one is super cool because it makes you feel like you're the size of a mouse. So that one over in France was actually really cool. Some of the best foods we ended up having this time. We had a lamb chop from I think it was from Australia. We had 3 different beef dishes. The best one though was from France. They basically had one that was like eating pot roast, except it was French, and it was amazing. And then so this year they have what they call their creations lab over off to the side. They almost never have anything in there except it's like you can get food, and it's a nice indoor area to sit down. So during the Food and Wine Festival, most people aren't going through it because there's not really anything over there, except they had a flight of beers, a flight of ciders, and they had 3 different types of wings, and they called it the Brew Wing Lab, and it was hosted by Bunsen and Beaker from the Muppets.
That is funny. Okay.
The coolest part about it was on the back wall, they had a how many days since your last incident, and it would go from like 1 to like 0 to whatever, and they would keep putting up on the TV screen. They would start showing like Bunsen actually creating a new type of wing or something, and Beaker would sit there and eat it, and like at one point he had a milkshake, so he's drinking the milkshake and he freezes, and he's like, "Oh, brain freeze," and he taps him, and Beaker falls down, and you just hear the shatter. And apparently they had filmed different versions of that, because the one time he sits there and like he shatters him, and he goes to pick him up, and he picks up like chunks of him, and then another time he sits there and he just starts laughing like it's funny.
That's fucked up.
There's another one where Beaker's sitting there, and he touches something he's not supposed to, and his head turns into a carrot. And after his head turns into a carrot, you see all these rabbits come up, and he's like, "Oh, look at the bunnies, Beaky! Look at the bunnies!" And all of a sudden, like, you just see Beaker get carried off because he's a giant carrot. And surprisingly, you get 5 wings for like $7, and I was like, "That's cheaper than you get wings here." Yeah.
How big were they?
They were,
jumbo wings?
I mean, they were good size wings.
Okay. I was like 5 for $7. If they give me a little drumettes, I'll be pissed.
Yeah. If you're getting like the Domino's pizza wings, you're getting like nothing,
Yeah.
But like, you seriously got a good size wing, which had a lot of chicken on it. But we got the Korean barbecue ones because they also had a Reaper pepper one, and then which were called like the incredibly sticky and unsensibly spicy for no reason wing. And then, like I said, we got the Korean barbecue ones, which were super sticky, but they had good flavor. My sister was like, "Oh wow, those had a kick," and all of a sudden you see her eyes tearing up because I was like, "Well, they're Korean barbecue, they're gonna have a kick," and she's like, "No, they won't. I've had Korean barbecue." Okay. So we only tried the one, but like, they were good. The most interesting thing we got to try on this trip, Tino, was the pickle milkshake. That was also at the Brew Wing Lab.
No.
It was amazing.
Shut the fuck up. No.
I know, right? Michelle would not try it. She was like, nope, I'm not a pickle fan. And I tried it, and I was like, it's fucking good. And then Shane tried it, and he goes, "This is amazing." And so the two of us drank it, and it was a full-sized milkshake, like in a little mason jar. And it was delicious.
A pickle milkshake.
Yep. Now, it wasn't, so the interesting thing about it was it wasn't sour. So they had figured out the right consistency to make sure it was sweet. But I shit you not, it was amazing.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was amazing. Then we ended up going to Hollywood Studios, where I had heard that next year they are getting rid of the Aerosmith rock, whatever they call it, the
rock and coaster. I know
rock and roller coaster. That's what they call it. And while the coaster is still going to be there, they are retheming it to Dr. Teeth and the and the orchestra from the Muppets. And I think that they're doing these other Muppet things now because they closed the Muppet area, which was very disappointing. And I also heard that they're actually getting ready to either change Buzz Lightyear's Star Command at Magic Kingdom or one of the other rides because they're trying to make it more accessible and more fun to play. But we did that, and like I said, we did the villains show, which basically has different characters like Cruella de Vil, Maleficent, and Dr. Hook all singing to you about how they're the most misunderstood villain out of the entire Disney thing. And at the end of the show, you have to pick out which one is actually the most misunderstood. So it's a little interactive and everything. Really cool design for the stage show and everything. So, and then we went back to Epcot yesterday. Got rained on, so we left Epcot about 3:00 in the afternoon. And it turns out that I had 6 people asking me, "Oh, you're in Florida. Where are you at?" "Oh, I'm in Disney. If you want to see us, you got to come out to this because, well, I'm with other people that would be very disappointed if I wasn't in the theme park when I said I'd be in the theme park." Turns out at least 2 of them were in the theme park at the same time as me at Epcot yesterday. But because it started raining, we never quite caught up with them, and just went about our business. And then today got to fly back here to Raleigh, where it's 40 degrees outside. So there I am wearing shorts and a t-shirt, getting off the plane, got all my stuff, and I'm like, I gotta grab my jacket. So that's mainly what's up with me, but I did want to go ahead and say that, like you, I sent Zor Saves Christmas to just a couple people that I know to see what they think. And your opinion was it's cute. It definitely lives up to the name of what we expect from the award nominated Zor. And I just wanted to read these 2 quotes. Now, one of them I do have to filter because he likes to be a little bit naughty in how he says things. But let me see. Where is it? I took some pictures at Disney, so of course it's a little bit harder to find the quotes. Actually, they are screenshots, so should be able to find them a little bit quicker. Well, I thought that I would. But, well, I'll just put it this way. One of the quotes said that as a new Christmas tradition, he plans on reading it to his kid every Christmas.
Wow.
That's pretty big, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And then the other quote said, you really capture the OG Pixar shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it said, I got misty-eyed, but then again, I'm a sappy bitch. So can't really use that on the kids' books, on the back cover of the kids' book, but we do plan on putting a similar message from him on there that fits what can be seen by kids. So that's our update for Zor Saves Christmas. And now, Tino, last thing before we get into wrestling, what were you watching?
We watched Tracker, and I'm still watching all my shows: Tracker, Matlock, Elsbeth. All my CSIs, or excuse me, NCISs. Watson wasn't. They didn't have a Watson this week, and I haven't seen this week's Tracker.
So the last episode of Watson was Sherlock actually being involved in trying to figure out what the answer to the thing was. So I saw that one.
Yeah. So
I found it weird because Tracker started a week after Watson with its first episode. So I guess now it's caught up.
I guess, yeah. And they're already. I was watching one of my shows, like the fall finale. I'm like, already, you guys are just back. So I guess they're getting ready, because Thanksgiving's getting ready to come up. So that's their fall finale, and then the holidays, and then they'll come back in January.
Do you know what show that was?
Which one was it? I don't remember which one it was. I just remember hearing fall finale. I'm like, son of a bitch already.
Yeah, that must mean it's a show that's only going to have like 10 total episodes.
I don't remember which one it was.
So I watched the latest Brilliant Minds, and they've added in this little storyline where something 6 months in the future is Zachary Quinto, the main character, Dr. Wolf. He's in a mental institution and he's trying to get out, and they haven't gone into any reason why he's in there yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what they plan on doing to get him into that.
I've also gone back and so I don't know what it was. I saw it, and now I'm right into it, and I'm in the 3rd season now. Remember Silver Spoons?
What is it on?
It's on like Roku TV. You know they do that. I'm like,
is it on Tubi?
It's not Tubi. It's Roku TV. But I'm like, I remember this show. I used to love this show, and now I'm watching it like
Alfonso Ribeira.
Yep, that he came to 3rd season, and he's just this is his 1st season now, and there's 5 seasons. But it's like watching it, and they're like 20 minutes, and they go by like that. But I'm like, this shit's cheesy as hell. But it was the 80s, right?
Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, this motherfucker over here is going to be sitting there watching like My Two Dads and Punky Brewster.
Probably. Square Pegs is on there too. I'm like, I used to like that shit.
Which one?
Square Pegs. You remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one, but I literally saw something the other day of Bronson Pinchot. So from
Perfect Strangers. If I could find Perfect Strangers,
and he was at the gym, and it said, "I had no idea they got jacked up on Mythos on Mythos."
That is hilarious. If I could find Perfect Strangers, I love that show.
Yeah. My favorite line from that show ended up getting stolen by Charles Shackelford at NC State when Balky Bartakamus said, "That's okay, I'm amphibious," when he was sword fighting some other guy for I don't even know the reason, but he ended up switching the sword over to the other hand and fighting him with the sword with the other hand. Yeah. This past week was the season finale of Gen V, which leads into season 5 of The Boys, and the season finale did not disappoint. It concluded what it needed to, but it definitely set up season 5 of The Boys in such a big way that, like, I have a feeling they're going to go the Stranger Things route, where, like, the last season of The Boys is going to be just action-packed. Like, the 8 episodes are all going to be something major.
God damn.
So, and obviously that's going to come out sometime, I guess, middle of next year. And then, I've been watching the Law and Orders and everything, and they're filtering through different characters, and they brought back Amanda Rollins on SVU because apparently people hated that Kelly Giddish. Kelly Giddish. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's her name, Kelly Giddish. They hated the fact that she got written off the show, and they basically stopped. They brought her in as like a guest star for a couple episodes, and like, bring back Rollins. So they brought her back this past episode. That's pretty much all I had with pro TV, not pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling. We haven't started that yet.
We have not. I did pull up all of the results. You said you didn't get to watch AEW. I did. I did not get to watch SmackDown, but I'm sure you did. And there's one specific thing on SmackDown I know I want to talk about, and you may have to mute and watch it to see it in case you haven't watched SmackDown from last week, because it involves a specific wrestler's new entrance.
I'm trying to remember which one that is. I watched SmackDown. Did I fall asleep on that shit?
Oh, and
wrestler's new entrance.
And before we actually jump into anything, I asked you about this on text earlier today from Florida, and WWE has been dropping vignettes, and they're like 13-second videos of people's feet walking, and that's it. Now, I think the latest one actually gives it away because it wasn't actually someone's feet, it was someone's hands like this with a pinky ring that looked very similar to a WWE Hall of Fame ring. And if that's the case, then I assume this is whatever the vision is becoming. And obviously that'll take place tonight, probably on Monday Night Raw, right? So let's talk about last week's Monday Night Raw. I'm going to pull it up, but is there anything specific you remember from last week's Monday Night Raw that you have to get off your chest?
Just wondering why they pulled the Bronze from that battle royal, because it's all I thought for sure Breaker was going to take over that belt, and I think there's still a possibility that he may weasel his way in, and we'll talk about the results of the battle royal into making it a 3-way. And
so what Tino's talking about, everybody, is the fact that at the beginning of Monday Night Raw, Adam Pearce comes out and says that he has news about WWE World Champion Seth Rollins and how he has to vacate the championship. Before he even gets to do that, though, they pull this really cool sequence. If you ask me, I thought it was cool, where a car pulls up and Adam Pearce is even like, "What the hell's going on here?" The car pulls up and it's, it's like an Escalade or something. And all you see is the championship belt in the window. And then you see the championship belt move outside of the vehicle, but you don't see who's carrying it. So you almost get your hopes up that Seth Rollins has his championship belt back and he's angry. But no.
Braun Breaker.
It's Braun Breaker, and he's gone away from the suits, and he's gone to the black leather jacket, black pants, and looks like Uncle Scott, if you ask me. Like, the only thing he doesn't have is the blonde hair at this point.
And the chain thing on his head.
and the chainmail on his head. I'm sure Scott's kid gets the chainmail on the head. And of course, Bronson Reed follows him, and Paul Heyman has the doofy look on his face as he follows them down to the ring. They get to the ring, and Adam Pearce sits there and says, "I'm going to need that belt back." What does Braun Breaker do, Tino? Because I'm going to tell you, it's probably the most emasculating thing he could have done.
He said, "I'm not going to give it to you." Let him say, "Please."
It's like, "I'm going to give you this belt back. But first, I need something from you."
Let me say, "Please."
And he's like, "I'm going to need you to say please." And just because Adam Pearce was like, "Mr. Breaker,
I respectfully
ask for that championship belt back." And he's like, "Uh-huh." And then he's like, and then he says it again because he said, "Now you got to say please." And he's like, "Please." And you can see it. He's like, "Oh," And
I thought he was just going to like he's going to hand it to him, and when he reached for it, drop it. That's what I thought was going to happen.
No. There's supposed to be respect on that.
Yeah.
You put respect on that championship, Tino. But what did he do? He didn't just hand it to him.
He gave it to Paul Heyman. Handed to him.
And Paul Heyman and the sequence took like 4 minutes because he took it, and he's like, you look like Adam Pearce is gonna and then he goes like this, and he hands it. You can't see me, but he hands it here. You know what? I'll do this so you can see me. He goes like this and hands it to Paul, and it's still just a dangling championship at this point. And Paul wraps it up real nice.
And you also noticed too, in that whole time where he was like, when Pearce was asking for the belt, and Breaker was giving him a hard time, Paul was over there about to have a fit. Like, no. He didn't mean it. Say please. And the look on Paul sells this whole thing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So it's almost like Paul can't even control him. And I'm wondering
Well,
how long that's going to last.
I think it's going to last longer than Solo Sikoa and Paul because I don't think they want to run that same story again. I mean, although they are showing the dissension quite a bit when it comes to Paul and these kids because Breaker backstage, they like you said, they set up they say CM Punk won the number one contendership last week. He's in the match. Now we're going to have an old-fashioned battle royal to determine who gets the second spot in that. And of course, you see Bronson Reed and Braun Baker, and they're like, well, it's going to be one of us. Because nobody can stop both of us, right? Go backstage, have all this other stuff happen, and you see Paul Heyman backstage sitting there trying to knock on the door for Adam Pearce. He's like, "What is taking this guy so long? Like, why? What is he doing? Taking a shit back there? Like, what's going on back there?" Finally, the door opens up, and Adam Pearce sits there, and he goes, "Hey, Paul, I just had some thoughts about the Battle Royal tonight, and I had the people in the truck change the graphic because the graphic showed all the people that were involved in it, and it included Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And he said, I've had them change the graphic. And he goes, I had them remove Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
You got to get the whole thing right. Get the whole thing conversation right.
I haven't missed anything yet, have I?
Not yet.
Okay. So then Paul sits there. He goes, "Well, why did you to remove them?" And Adam Pearce is like, "Well, it's because I need a little something from you, Paul.
Okay, you're getting it.
I'm gonna need you to say please."
Please.
And Scrap Daddy got Paul Heyman to sit there and go, "Respectfully, Mr. Pierce, would you please put?"
There's something we missed. So when he made Adam say please in the ring, Braun goes, "Now that wasn't so hard, was it?" All right, so come back to this.
Right. You're right. Let's go. So go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so when he made Heyman say please, and Heyman said please, and he goes, "Now that wasn't so hard, was it?" And he goes, "No." He goes, and my answer is no.
No. And then to add insult to injury, Becky Lynch shows up.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
looks right, and we're missing even that Becky Lynch had just. I mean, Becky Lynch is so distraught at the moment because of what the Vision did to her husband that Maxine Dupree had the best match of her career. Becky squeaks out with a win, and I have a feeling we are going to get Maxine beating her for that title.
What happened to AJ? Where's AJ? What happened to that whole? We thought AJ at the end of that where
didn't she sign a full-time contract?
Where's AJ? Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. So,
well, I think AJ is going to help Maxine win that title.
Okay.
But because the more we don't think about AJ when she shows up again, it's going to be a whoa moment.
True.
But Becky Lynch sits there and goes,
"How about emasculating?"
What did she actually call him though? So she sits there and she goes,
"She called him a walrus."
Well, we've all called him the walrus, but she said that he had a specific kind of face, and she was like, "What you did to my husband, my husband can get over it, but I can't, and you have no idea what you've unleashed because when my hot husband comes back,
yep."
You won't know when it's coming. You won't know when it's going to be. You won't know why, where, when, what. But he's going to make you feel it.
You got to think when he comes back, he's going to be face.
I mean, it was a face creating promo without him even there. And of course, Heyman being the conniving guy that he is, he goes, Becky, while there's no room in the vision for your husband, there's still a world where there's a vision with you.
Yeah.
And he goes, and you can have the best of both worlds because you can have your hot husband at home, and you can be part of the biggest and baddest thing going on Monday Night Raw every week. And of course she's like, I never liked you, I never trusted you, and you'll get yours. She did call him the Penguin. And she called him something else too, but the Penguin is a good one. And it fits, you know. I mean, if they ever wanted to do another version of Batman in the DC universe, Paul Heyman playing Oswald Cobblepot actually would make a lot of sense. It would. Don't give me that look. It would make sense. Why did this go to NBA.com? Okay, I got it back onto Raw. So we get a battle royal that does not include the Bronze. Now, there are rumors as to why, but there's also the video of who won that battle royal has 75,000 more dislikes on YouTube than it does likes.
Wow.
Other matches that happened during the night, just to give everybody some stuff going on. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day, only their second defense of the tag team titles on Raw. And what happens, Tino?
They lost.
Is this how Triple H repays AJ Styles for the 9 years of great service with the company? He gives him a random tag team championship with a guy that it's a random tag team partner for him.
And they probably won't hold it long.
I don't think they will. It's a great match though.
Yes.
The match was amazing. Those four men put on an astounding match. I was blown away by the actual match. And more dissension between all of the Judgment Day members. Dominic Mysterio got mad that he's the only guy that's been defending his title, which is why this match happened. Then Dominic Mysterio has a match against Rusev again. Yeah. And Mysterio beats Rusev again in a piss poor match. Which, I mean, it was fine for what it was, I guess.
Yeah.
Women's Intercontinental match. This was the Becky Lynch match versus Maxine Dupree. Like I said, Maxine had Bleacher Report gave this match a B, which is probably the first B match that Maxine Dupree has ever had.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to say, her entire program with Becky Lynch has been really good. Do I think Becky's carrying her through a bunch of it? Absolutely. But do I think that they are making a believable character in how hard Maxine works to get to where she is? 100%. Stephanie Becerra versus Roxanne Perez.
Stephanie, yeah.
Why?
And I didn't expect Roxanne to win that.
No, I didn't expect Roxanne to win the match, but why the fuck are we getting Nikki Bella matching up with Stephanie Becerra here?
It's supposed to be like her mentor or something.
I don't think so, but I mean, Nikki Bella makes the save, and the crowd actually went nuts because I think they were hoping it was Liv Morgan.
Yep.
So we have that.
And Liv should be coming back soon.
I mean, I think she's healthy. I think they're just waiting for the right moment, which at this point could be as far along as the damn Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
CM Punk's opponent, Battle Royal. Tozawa gets thrown out of the match. The Celtic Warrior takes care of. I think he threw out both members of Judgment Day, and then they pulled him out of the ring as well. Styles tossed Mysterio. At this point of this match, I thought WWE would make the right decision and make it AJ Styles versus CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. And no, they didn't. They had AJ Styles go over almost immediately after that whole thing. Jimmy Uso and LA Knight were fighting at the ropes. Jey Uso throws them both over, but I'm going to say this. While that's the story, when you actually see it happen, Jey Uso only lifted LA Knight over those ropes, and Jimmy Uso jumped over the ropes and eliminated himself.
Yep.
If you actually watch it properly. And then he gets all mad at his brother.
But I wonder, okay, this is what I understand, right? So we all know, dude, it's
every man for
himself. So why did he get mad at him? That didn't make sense.
Especially since, like, immediately after. So I guess it's because Jimmy wanted it to be him and Jay as the last two.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because technically Jimmy goes down as number 3 or number 4 remaining. Because shortly thereafter, they do this whole thing where you think Dominic Mysterio is going to eliminate Jey Uso and be three belts Dom, but no. Jey Uso somehow magically is able to get up from that holster position of the 619 and just go yoink, and there goes Dominic Mysterio out of the ring. And Jimmy and Jay look at each other really weird for a minute as Jimmy walks off, and then the entire interaction between Jey Uso and CM Punk, since CM Punk was doing commentary for the match, was Jey Uso, and I might have to go widescreen again for this one, is going, like, what was he doing? What was that?
He's pumping himself up.
I guess. It just looked weird. Like, there was no handshake. There was no, like, jaw jacking back between the two. He just, like, slow clapping.
I don't know.
So, I'm going to try the 8 o'clock meet. I'm going to try to make this quick when I say this. The rumor going around backstage now is that Jey Uso goes full-blown heel turn at Saturday night's main event and becomes a 2-time world champion.
Really?
Thoughts on that?
Are they really going to pull the trigger and make him a heel, though?
I mean, it seems like they are.
Okay.
I mean, the only other option is to have Jimmy go full-blown heel, right?
Yeah, they probably won't do that.
I mean, doesn't help Jimmy's character at all, but a heel Jay could actually elevate a babyface Jimmy. I don't know. It's weird. I think that this could have set up a really good give AJ Styles one more run with the championship while you really try to figure out what your plans are going forward. And they didn't do it. So, and this weekend is Saturday night's main event. So I've got the card pulled up, so we can go ahead, and since that's going to be both shows, we'll talk about it after SmackDown. Okay. But let's see. Where's my... Oh, there's AEW. AEW Dynamite results. So now we're going to move on to AEW. I'm not doing NXT because we're going to do Halloween Havoc results.
Got it.
First match up, World Trios Championships, the Ops versus the Hurt Syndicate. If you didn't think that the Ops was heels, you learned it at the end of this match when Samoa Joe sat there, and I'm going to tell you, I've never seen Powerhouse Hobbs be as funny as he was in the segment after this match. Now, the Ops went over the Hurt Syndicate. Okay. But on top of that, they gave the match a C. but Joe cut a promo. And he's like, I'm so glad I've got Powerhouse Hobbs with me because of all the fat, sweaty women in the audience. And the whole time, Powerhouse Hobbs is going, he's like struggling.
That's so fucking wrong. That is wrong.
Here's my problem with this segment. The match was fine. It wasn't great, wasn't bad. But my problem with the segment is that if you watched anything AEW after Wrestle Dream, Hangman Page said in an interview that they've now shown on their internet page and everything else that he doesn't care where he shows up. He's going to get Joe. He's going to come after him. He's going to find him and he's going to beat him, right? No Hangman Page. You got this moment. I don't care if you got the ops with you. I don't care if you're by yourself. I'm going to get you. Wasn't there. Didn't show up. He punked out like a little bitch. Just like Joe called him. You little bitch.
I don't know.
Except Joe does it right. He calls him a punk bitch when he calls him one. So yeah. That was instance number 1 of the night where Wrestle Dream really didn't make any sense. Okay? Darby Allin promises to protect AEW forever from the Death Riders. I'm not going anywhere. You can't kill me. I'm Darby Allin. Blah, 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 blah. Crowd's completely behind him, and he still has unresolved issues with the Death Riders. But apparently it's every Death Rider not named Jon Moxley. Then we had a 4-way female tag team match. Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter and Aminata versus Willow and Harley versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Want to take a guess who won?
Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter and Aminata did. This was the way that they were doing these 8-woman tag or 4 tag women matches was whoever wins these matches gets to pick their opponent in the new tournament for the women's tag championships.
Okay.
Hell of a match. Penelope Ford actually got called out on Bleacher Report for hitting a moonsault to everyone on the outside. Alongside a tope from Bane onto the field, almost causing a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh.
The Young Bucks demanded a money match from Tony Khan, who made an appearance on TV, who booked a $400,000 match with the Bucks and FTR against Jet Speed and Jurassic Express.
Okay, Jurassic Express will help them out because if it was just Jet Speed and somebody else, I know who's winning that money.
Monet comes out to have her title celebration now that she's 12 belts, Monet, which is not 12 championships because the Owen Hart championship doesn't count. But anyways, they had Mini Monet come out.
I love it.
She got cake-faced.
Oh, shit.
But then, just when you thought Monet was pulling Harley Cameron out from under the table with Mini Monet, Chris Statlander comes up from behind her, puts her up on her shoulders, and dumps her through the table and the cake.
Nice.
Now, here's my problem with this one. It was a great segment, but Monet is using this new accent or something when she talks, and it's completely new to her character. She's now been in AEW over a year.
She's always had some kind of weird way she talks.
You got to watch the segment and tell me if you disagree or agree with me. I could have just been really tired at midnight when I was watching it.
Okay.
But I think something's up with how she's talking now. Because it wasn't just the nar moment, which I think is actually kind of funny. And one of the funniest things she actually does. But it was like the entire way she was talking to Renee.
Okay, I'll have to look and see.
Obviously, this is going to set up more going forward. Chris promised to beat Monet at Full Gear, which, what does that mean? Right now, it means that Monet is going to win because Statlander has gotten the upper hand so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kyle O'Reilly has a match on the show.
Oh shit!
Want to know who his opponent was?
Who?
John Moxley.
He fucking lost.
Actually, John Moxley loses the match by disqualification.
What?
Yes. And while I liked how it happened, John Moxley should be fucking gone. He shouldn't be on the goddamn show. He's been set on fire. He's now done an I Quit match where he quit. Like, get rid of him for a while. But instead, I think we're getting... I think we're getting the self-destruction of John Moxley, which will then lead to the ultimate resurgence of babyface John Moxley. And here's why. Because during this match, Kyle O'Reilly pretty much led for most of the match. Moxley kept getting out of holds, but Moxley was actually trying to be a wrestler, which is something Moxley isn't, right?
Right.
Kyle O'Reilly finally put him into a submission hold, and when he did, John Moxley punched the referee from the submission hold.
To get himself disqualified.
Because otherwise, like the way that the commentators were talking about it was, John Moxley, something's wrong with him at this point, and he's going to quit, and he can't quit because he already quit against Darby, right?
Yeah.
I'm
also digging this, and off kind of on topic, the conglomeration, their entrance, their little old friends sitcom thing they got going.
I can't stand the conglomeration. Like, sometimes there's just too many fucking stables, you know? Sometimes there is. But yeah, so Moxley now has lost 2 matches in a row, and it was a good showing by Kyle O'Reilly, but you know, like the whole time I was like, Kyle O'Reilly's not getting a pinfall or a submission victory here. It would have been even better if he actually got the submission victory. Like, even if it was just Moxley passing out, it would have been better than the disqualification. Basically meant that the Kyle O'Reilly element in the story could have been anybody.
Got you.
Death Riders versus Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong.
So
Take a guess.
If Kyle just won by disqualification, that means the Death Riders had to win that next match. If Moxley lost, the Death Riders had to win.
So, I'm looking for... Briscoe led a confident effort against a shaken Death Riders, winning with a J Driller on Wheeler Yuta.
Shut the front door.
After the bell, Pac attacked Briscoe until Ishii arrived, followed by Kyle O'Reilly, but the Death Riders continued to attack. Darby Allin made the save with his bat and stood tall. I guess he's Sting now. This was a solid continuation from Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, where the Death Riders all looked out of sorts against the conglomeration. The action was also quality throughout. Garcia and Yuta especially looked like delightful minions in this one, bumping for everyone. The conglomeration has turned the tide over the Death Riders, and this could be leading to blood and guts with Allin working with them. It's hard to say if this is the best option when the women are finally getting their own shot at the blood and guts match. So, and guess who's going to blood and guts, Tino?
Who?
We are.
I know.
Mark Briscoe wants one more match. Mark Briscoe interrupted Kyle Fletcher, who was mocking Chicken, to ask him for one more match. Don Callis refused on behalf of the Protostar. Lots of stuff going on. Okada versus Bandito.
Okay.
In an A+ match, Okada retains.
It's A+ because it's Okada.
Absolutely. But I mean, Okada is an amazing wrestler, but Bandito is also an amazing wrestler. Bandito is what the WWE could get out of Dragon Lee if they really wanted to. So,
Yeah.
Don Callis on commentary said that Okada explained his and take a shit as loss was because it was their first time teaming. Excalibur pointed out it was not. Bandito caught the Rainmaker with a 21 plex, but was too slow to get the cover, setting up the pin. Luchador reversed the Rainmaker into a small package for a near fall. By the way, some of these near falls were like really, really good near falls.
Did you scoop?
No scoop.
No scoop.
No scoopsy potatoes on those. Yeah, this match, this entire show was highlighted by, to me, that match, getting to see Minnie Monet again, and of course, Powerhouse Hobbs trying to lift all the fat women. So,
Good show.
It was a good show. Let's go to SmackDown.
Good show. Good show.
All right, I did not get to watch SmackDown. I was too busy in Disney. So here is your way things happen. Cody Rhodes kicks off the show. Spoke for a minute about McIntyre before McIntyre interrupted him in the crowd with a mic. Yeah, basically another thing trying to sell the match. I think they've now moved this match to Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
Okay, we have the MFT versus Rey Fenix and Shinsuke Nakamura.
That was a good match too. I just can't get over how big dude's gotten. It doesn't even look the same, and the makeup's throwing me off too. You know, the face.
Tamatanga, yeah, the
throwing me off. It's throwing me
off. Michael Cole mentioned them being the United Empire, which is what they were in New Japan after they split off from the Bullet Club. Much harder to tell Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa apart than it used to be because Tama put on some muscle.
Yeah.
Kiana James versus Tiffany Stratton.
I don't even know why we made this match. you knew Kiana wasn't going to win. They just had to have the champion on the show. That's what it seems like to me. That Tiffy had to be on the show.
Julia attacked the champion, but Jade Cargill came out to make the save.
And
Cargill ended up attacking Stratton, turning heel for the first time since she's been in WWE.
It's too late. They pulled the trigger too late. I mean, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do, but
what if they went with an all-female stable with Cargill as the centerpiece?
Ooh.
Suddenly you're intrigued, right?
Ooh.
You know, you can cover up a lot of her inadequacies inside the ring by having like a Julia or a Kiana James actually like distracting the ref and giving her these moments.
I hadn't thought about that. Why don't you think Michael Turner said Jade won't win the title? I think that's why they're turning her heel. I think she's going to be the one to take it from Tiffy.
Well, let's be real. As a babyface, Jade Cargill is very similar to a Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult to get someone that is that perfect of a human specimen to get over with the crowd.
AEW did it right, just keeping her heel and keeping her just unstoppable.
Yeah,
they need to do that to build her up.
And I think we're getting closer to that. So I agree with you, Michael. I disagree.
Yeah, so I just read he said Jade won't win. That's why I said I think she's going to be the one to take it from Tiffy.
I think if Jade continued down the road she was on, she wouldn't win. But we're also wondering when we're going to see Bianca again. So I could see Jade winning and moving on to a program with Bianca.
Mm.
You know, because originally we thought Bianca was going to turn heel again, but Bianca as a babyface works. United States Open Challenge. So Ilya Dragunov, who won the title last week from Sami Zayn, last week from Sami Zayn, is now taking over the space of doing this. And I've heard Sami Zayn is not currently capable of competing.
Is he hurt?
Looks like he is. So I wonder if the Ilya Dragunov pull was because they knew that Sami could get through that match, but might need time off.
Mm.
So we end up having...
So they couldn't let, of course, Carmelo Hayes do it. They had to bring...
I think the Ilya Dragunov actually surprised people more than Carmelo winning the title would. But I think that what you're going to actually see happen is I think you're going to see like a four-way dance where it's the Miz, Carmelo, Aleister Black, and Ilya, or Ilya and someone else, right? I think you're going to see a four-way dance for this title. And this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the new entrance for Aleister Black.
It reminds me of fucking Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is a Triple H going, this is what we would have done with you moment, you know? Because, I mean, the way that Zelina is now part of the entrance and everything for him, and he's gotten rid of the board that brings him up and everything.
Oh, it still came up.
Oh, he still did that? Okay.
The camera was focused on her down low, but you saw.
Gotcha.
Right
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an amalgam of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing when she's in the ring, you know, she's doing her thing. In the background, you see him. All of a sudden, you see him sit up. He still does his flip over into a Indian style, but you don't really see the flip over. You just the camera. You see him sit up as she's crawling around the ring. So they're doing. Yeah, that's why I'm like, this is just a fucking ripoff.
So there was also a replay shown of how Jade Cargill went after Tiffany Stratton's knee, and apparently it was from a much better angle from the angle they initially showed it at. Mm-hmm. So it looked devastating. It's too bad WWE released Scarlett and Karrion Kross. They could have had an awesome feud with Vega and Black. Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre.
Why?
As it looked like Big Jim was about to win, McIntyre threw a chair into his face and then hit a Claymore for the pin.
Hit him in the face.
In the face.
In the face.
Right in the kisser. In the face. So, all right. SmackDown apparently was a decent show.
I gave it a C.
And now I think we can go ahead and make predictions for Saturday night's main event. So I'm going to break this up here.
So what are the matches announced? Because I'm sure they're going to have more announced.
Well, I don't know how many more they're going to announce because they, you know, like Triple H loves those 2-hour 5-match shows. So here's what we got so far. Are you ready?
All right.
We have 3 matches announced so far. We've got, this still has undisputed championship #1 contenders match, but it's going to be the undisputed championship match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. So who you got? Now remember, we're already crowning a champion on this night.
Man, but if they fucking pass Drew over again, dude, How
Well,
many
they could be playing up getting them, like another disqualification or something, and getting them to Survivor Series for another match.
All right, Cody. But I got something to say about Cody. When we get to the other championship match, I still got a thought. So,
Well, I mean, Drew could win because Cody gets disqualified.
yeah.
So, and that would actually be a better play up for getting another match.
And I think they kind of set that up last week when they made him go crazy and hit him with the chair. So, yeah.
I believe this match is now confirmed. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship.
It's about time for Tiff to give it up.
Yeah, it'd be so nice if she did.
Shut up, bitch. You know what I mean.
Why?
Jade.
How do you know I didn't mean the same thing? Damn it!
Because you're a pervert. Michael said Tiffany. I'm saying Jade.
They could be. You know what? WWE could be trying to make Peacock really happy with their Saturday night's main events. So I agree. I think Jade Cargill. If this match actually happens, because like I said, I don't know if it's actually confirmed. And then Jey Uso versus CM Punk right now.
I'm calling Breaker gets in that match somehow. And Breaker comes out the champion. Somehow it becomes a 3-way.
I don't like going with internet speculation in a situation like this. I think CM Punk actually would be a better person to carry it. I could also...
If Jimmy turns heel, it's going to be Jimmy.
Oh, you mean Jay?
Jay, sorry, yeah.
But what if CM Punk turned heel and joined the Vision?
I don't see that happening.
Me neither, except Paul Heyman still likes to call CM Punk his best friend. So what if he was...
Now I can see. Remember back when they still had the bloodline, they never closed this out. Remember, I forget what it was. One of the pay-per-views where Paul Heyman winked at Jimmy. What that comes full circle.
Oh yeah, you love talking about that one.
Jimmy costs Jay, and Punk wins, and Jimmy joins the Vision.
Every time I hear it called the Vision, I think they're calling it Division.
Yeah, I wish they should have called it. Yeah, but I think that's going to be a swerve too. I think Jay comes back around, or Jimmy, because they're not doing anything with him. They keep fucking around with him, and I think if they should put him in that group, and I think he cost Jay the match, and that's how CM Punk wins.
Interesting. I think that Triple H feels like he really has to push this whole Jey Uso main event character, and he has to have him with the championship as a bad guy to actually like lead to the next thing. So I see Jay going heel, Jay winning the title, but I don't think that they want to pull the trigger on like a full straight up heel turn in the same way that they normally do, because they still love that yeet moment that they have, you know? But I'm going to go with Jay. I'm going to go with Jay on this one. Now, let's talk about Halloween Havoc.
They had a good I was surprised at how many title changes they had.
I was too. I was watching this oh shoot. I was watching this before we got on the air, so I haven't fully finished it yet.
Okay.
But let's start with probably one of the most fun matches I've seen in a while. Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus Mr. Iguana and La Parka. But not the original La Parka.
The original La Parka is dead.
Well, but this is now like the third or fourth iteration of
La Parka. Yeah. And this La Parka, I think I text you, is the La Mascaris or whoever the other CML.
Mil Mascaris.
No, it wasn't Mill. It was
Sin Cara? No, he's in
no. This is La Mascara. La Mascara.
oh, okay. So of course Yayaska gets involved in this whole thing, the iguana.
I love that thing.
Now, Bleacher Report gave this match a D+.
What? Why?
I don't know. I'm reading what they wrote. The main issue was that Iguana and Parker never had a chance to keep up. I could see that.
I mean,
It always looked
Yeah.
like the young OG and Leon Slater were going to win this match.
because they're 20 and 21. What the fuck you expect?
Well, they're both 21,
Yeah, the other dudes are, a little older.
so it's hard to keep up anyway.
Yeah.
Iguana was popular throughout the match, getting the loudest chants. Evans and Slater looked like a tag team with their in-ring chemistry, and they had matching tights. We know that at some point they're both going to be under WWE contract, and unfortunately, their careers may actually hit a snag, and they become a tag team because of it.
Well, how far along did you get in the pay-per-view?
I finished.
Did you see the Hardys match?
No.
Okay. I'm unlike you. I'm not going to spoil.
No, you can. We're going to talk about it because I got the results pulled up, so we're going to
Okay.
talk about it. So I'd love to hear your opinion, and then I'll go watch the match.
No, it's not just the match. It's what happens after the match between young OG and other dude, the conversation they had. So we'll get to that match. I'll tell you what they said.
Gotcha. North American Championship, Ethan Page versus Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. the Third.
That was a better match than I thought it would be. And when he ripped that mask and that dude lost his mind, I'm like, there goes Ethan's belt. I thought for sure he was about to beat Ethan for that belt.
Dude,
That was a good match.
how was Ethan Page so underutilized in AEW?
I don't know.
Because his salesmanship in this match was incredible.
You know what? And it I think it's a shame that they bought
AAA.
No. The walking weapon. On AEW. What's his name? The one that signed up and he lost his first match. He wears the headgear.
Josh Alexander.
So Josh Alexander and Ethan Page in TNA
Had a few.
tag team called the North. That fucking it was a shit. If I think if they'd have been there at the same time and put them as a tag team, it'd have been awesome.
Wasn't that tag team actually meant to be like a symbolic remembrance of like Team Canada from TNA?
Yeah, because they're both Canadian, so they were called the North.
Yeah,
and they were very Canada pride oriented kind of, but that tag team, they were fucking phenomenal, right? So that's why I look at Josh and then even after Ethan left and Josh Alexander, the work he put in TNA, was a champion. Now to see him in AEW, I'm like, So I wish they would bring him to NXT and utilize him like they're doing with Ethan Page, because I think.
Oh, Josh Alexander would probably be NXT champion right now.
Yes.
Like he is that good. And as a wrestler, he's that good. So even if he wasn't as good as like the talker and the full the sports entertainer, I would think that putting him in NXT, he would develop into the sports entertainer. And they would even do the same thing that they did with like Johnny Gargano, where Johnny Gargano was a great white meat babyface. And then they turned him heel, and he didn't start great as a heel and worked his way to becoming a good heel, right? Yeah. Whereas Tommaso Ciampa did the exact opposite. He started as an amazing heel and then became a babyface.
So what do you think? How do you think we're going to keep Ethan as a heel? Do you think we'll ever see Ethan as a babyface, and how do you think he'll do?
I don't know if his character or the way that he carries himself works as a babyface.
Well, we've had cocky faces, with the heel tendencies, but fans still cheer him. I mean,
Yeah,
cocky as shit too. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do know what you mean. It's just when you see Ethan Page, you never think that's a guy I want saving me from drowning in a pool.
I see that.
You know?
But eventually they're going to turn him. They're going to turn him face, even if they turn him back. I think they might experiment turning him face to see how it goes.
Well, if they're going to do that, they're going to do it in NXT.
Yeah,
because they'll know what they're going to use him as when he gets to SmackDown or Raw.
because right now, and that's just a thought because he's a better heel. I agree with you. Yeah, he's a better heel, but I'm like, do you think it would affect him? How will it affect him if they turn him face? Do you think he'd lose steam?
I don't know. I think that you could almost do it the same way that AEW did with MJF, where, like they try it for 6 months, and even though MJF was getting really good babyface pops, at some point they finally just said, fuck it, he's a heel again.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, and it's funny because almost everybody you can see a way to weasel them into a babyface role or make the change or whatever. With him, I can't really see it right now, and that's credit to him because he's so damn good with that. I mean, he has his all ego character, which we didn't know what that even meant when he was in AEW.
Oh, they flushed it out in NXT.
It's amazing. He is that good. So I like. And this match they gave an A.
Oh yeah,
and totally worth it.
Yes.
By the way, I want to point out that Vic Joseph was dressed up as the Riddler.
Yep. Dressed.
Mike Rome.
What was he supposed to be?
He was Art the Clown from Terrifier.
Okay, I was trying to figure it out. Okay.
He wears the daisy glasses.
Okay. I haven't seen Terrifier, so that's probably why.
You know what? I've never watched the movies either, and I'm gonna have to. The next match up, we got a backstage segment with Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights argued over who would fight Josh Briggs next. Ava decided they should fight each other to figure it out.
Yep.
So that's probably Tuesday's main event.
And
or show opener. Women's North American Championship, Zarya with Sol Ruka versus Blake Monroe. Sol Ruka's allowed to be at ringside, but she's on crutches. Couple weird things happened during this that really sold the match.
I think my favorite part is when Blake was on the floor running and she kicked Kane out from and made her fall.
Well, that led to the end of the match.
Yeah.
But before that, when Zarya was showing that she had popped her shoulder out of socket and Sol just pushed her into the corner, and then she turns around and she's like, why would you do that? And she's like, did it fix your shoulder? And she's like, it did. This time we got a better visual of Blake Monroe with the hair pick.
Yeah.
She misses with it.
Yep.
But gets the victory.
She gets the DDT on the outside, gets her in the ring. Then she DDT her again, or she hits her with her finisher, and then she pins her. And then Sol Ruka's on the floor, like devastated, almost pissed. Zarya's laying on her. And I think those two are about to start feuding.
If this had been the main event on any other night, that little corner box would have showed up and Sol Ruka would have beaten the shit out of Zarya.
With that cane. And pushed her and pulled her back out.
Any other night, that would have been like if this was just a random NXT episode on CW, that would have been that you'd have been like, why are they ending NXT 2 minutes early? Nope, they're not. Probably so. Blake has now had two really good showings.
You think it's too soon for her to win that title, though?
The North American? Nah. And you know, they in Shawn Michaels, I trust.
Okay.
He's done pretty well with those championships when he makes the changes. Did we ever think JC Jane would be a 6-month champion?
No. Okay.
Speaking of which,
Is that the next match?
that was the next match.
Wow.
JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley brought out the entire Cullen with her. All of them were dressed in all white, except for her, where she had
the red
blood going down her outfit, and it said Dr. Pax.
Oh, I saw it said Pax. I couldn't tell what else it said. Dr. Pax.
Dr. Pax. Everybody got involved.
They got ejected. The Cole Cullen and the other two people from Fatal Influence got ejected, but they came back towards the end. And I think that ending, it was one of those that you always talk about where they get in the ring and you don't know exactly who they're about to hit. But I think she was about to nail Tatum, and Tatum caught her. And then JC happened to be running, and then she pushed Tatum out the way to hit JC with that belt. But I think she was about to hit Tatum in the back of the head with that title. What do you think?
So this is what Bleacher Report had to say. The pace of this match had the crowd at a fever pitch down the stretch, selling the emotional high of the evening as Paxley finally won the NXT Women's Championship. The execution was not always crisp, and you could see that. There were moments where Paxley would try to do something with the ropes and she'd get a foot caught.
Yeah.
And it's because she just doesn't get as many opportunities in the ring. Doesn't mean that the story didn't tell. This was the last match that I ended up getting to see, by the way.
Okay.
When we got to the backstage area, Lash Legend.
No, I want to go back to when they got. Did they interview her? Is that with Tatum, or is that later on?
Let's see. Sean Spears made the crucial save. This started a brawl between both groups. Paxley nearly took it all with a rolling encore followed by a 450 splash. Ref, you suck followed the count.
It might have been later on in the show. Never mind. What were you about?
Yeah, I think it was later.
Okay, what were you about to say about
So Lash Legend sits there and gets a match against Kendall Gray, I guess. The
Evolve champion.
The Evolve champion. And they totally punk out Ren Sinclair.
Well, so it started the last week on NXT where Ren Sinclair was talking, and Lash Legend came up talking shit to her, and Kendall's stepped to her defense. So that was just a continuation of it. And so, and she goes, she told, pretty much told Lash, go somewhere, da 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 da. And Lash like, little girl, you don't want any of this, and she kind of walked away. So this time last night, that's when I guess Lash had enough of it and said, you know what, I'm gonna beat you for that belt.
It was so funny how she did it though, because Ren Sinclair tried to say something. She said, nah, little girl, or something like that. And then all of a sudden, you just see Kendall go, don't you nah, little girl to her? She repeated the entire phrase back to her.
That was funny.
Just had me laughing. By the way, Blake Monroe, when she was in the ring, was actually dressed up as Tiffany from Bride of Chucky.
Yes.
Want to point out that Jordan Grace has never looked hotter than when she was actually Velma Dinkley.
Oh, you like that?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I absolutely 100% hate every time a hot chick decides they want to cosplay Velma Dinkley and make her look hot. Because Velma's not supposed to be hot.
Okay.
But Jordan Grace has never looked better than when she was dressed up as this character. And there's even a video of her on Twitter where the glasses are off and they're on the floor and she's crawling across the floor trying to find the glasses. and when she walked in the room to talk to Kalani Jordan, and she started by saying jinkies.
That made me laugh. That did.
It was great. All right. We get the Hardy Boys versus Dark State in a broken rules match.
The only thing I didn't like about it, what would have made it better, normally when they do those at the Hardy.
You have to tell me all about this one. Yes, at the Hardy compound. I agree.
And that's one thing I wish they'd have done. And I understand they probably didn't have. Well, they did have the money for it, but they.
I'm going to stop you because there was a way to do that and make it awesome and make it fit.
What?
Do you remember the Roddy Piper Goldust match from WrestleMania? Parking lot brawl.
Yeah.
Where they started in the ring.
Uh-huh.
They ended in the ring. And then they went outside the ring and found themselves going up and down the highway and the white Ford Bronco and did all that bullshit.
Yeah.
This is how they could have done this match if they wanted to do it right with the broken rules stuff. Remember, the Hardys are the greatest tag team of all space and time, right? So why wouldn't they just open a portal,
teleport,
and go to the Hardys compound, have an entire, because I was thinking about this just the other day. We have not had a great cinematic match in a while.
Well, I think the last one was the Undertaker AJ Styles, right?
Well, in WWE, but I think that the Hardys had multiple at the Hardy compound.
Yes.
So this would have been the perfect time to put it up on the screen and everything else from the Hardys compound. When they leave the arena, suddenly whoosh, and they're at the Hardy compound, they end up having a big, space and time match. Whoosh, finish the match in the ring, and Dark State wins.
Yeah.
It would have been great. It would have been the perfect time to do it. And Halloween Havoc, we're willing to suspend disbelief on some of this bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we had a lot of the Hardys, the go-tos. So they had the tables, the chairs, the ladders. Of course, Jeff had to do his swanton off the top of the ladder. He had Lennox lay down on the table, and you could tell. I hate that because they take their time to climb the ladder. Matt is holding the ladder because Jeff went to the tippy top, and you can see Lennox is laying on the table, and you can see him kind of edging over and putting his leg off the table. I'm like, he's about to move. And sure enough, so I hate when you can tell that's about to happen.
So there's a couple things there. I want to point out, I'm okay if your tag team partner grabs the table or the ladder. Yeah. I'm okay with that because your tag team partner should be taking care of you.
Yes.
I don't like when the referee grabs the ladder.
And Jeff, Matt had to hold the ladder because he went, like when I said he stood on the tippy top and that ladder
stands on the very last one. Which, by the way, says do not stand on the,
do not step. And so.
But you're absolutely right. The unfortunate problem with those types of moves is that our suspension of disbelief pro wrestling, we always do it. But you and I, we sit there and we criticize and we critique it now. So because of that, we are noticing the moments that do take you out of it for a second. The quality of the match brings us back in.
Now I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite spots is inside the ring. They had two tables inside the ring. They had Dark State on the tables. Jeff did the senton or the swanton,
yeah.
And then Matt on the
Matt
other
did
side.
The leg drop.
Yeah, dude, and that looked awesome. I'm like, but I'm thinking, your back, dude. You're gonna have, you know what I'm saying? You're getting a little.
Well, they already don't walk straight.
Yeah, and so they were like, fuck it. So,
they might be hoping that one of those leg drops or something actually fixes it.
Yeah, And so they did. Of course, it was a broken. It was a broken Hardys match. So of course
Broken rules match. Yeah.
the other two from Dark State came in. They took care of them, and they did everything they could. But Dark State came out on top.
And you know it from what I've read, and obviously I'll go back. I'll probably watch it after I watch Monday Night Raw.
It was a good match. It was a fantastic match.
I heard it was a fantastic match. And it's nice seeing the Hardys have a match like this because so often you hear about these older wrestlers not being able to keep up with the young guys.
Oh no, they kept up.
And you know, like the unfortunate thing about the Bound for Glory match with the Dudleys was that the Dudleys looked to step off. Now, granted, that could be because Devon had a fucking stroke.
Yeah.
You know.
They also made sure to make clear that only the NXT titles were on the line, right? They made sure the TNA titles are not on the line. So I guess they had to make sure that was said too. But what I was getting at, you were saying how the young OG and the other gentleman, I can never remember his name, were saying they're going to eventually be a tag team. They were backstage watching it, and they were like, "Oh man, they shouldn't have won that match." Da 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 da. They were like, "You know what? We got a score to settle with them anyway." And the dude's like, "Well, I'm busy with this title, the X Division title." He said, "But when I'm done with that, they're going after Dark State for the tag team title. So they are going to form a tag team."
And I mean, they already have the gear.
Yep, and I think they make a fucking bomb ass tag team. And I think
they're going to be the next Hardys.
Yeah, and I think
as long as they stay healthy, they will be the next Hardys.
So you were saying they are. So yeah, I was saying you didn't watch the whole thing. They are gonna form a tag team and go after Dark State.
And then we get our main event: Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams.
And it was
Bleacher Report gave it a C. Tell me about it.
Saints started off strong, but of course Trick's bigger, so Trick took over. Trick ran that match pretty much. I mean, Ricky would have some of his he'd get his spots in and get the comeback, but Trick did. And I don't know if Trick's wrestling longer, so he was calling it, and that's why he had the majority of the match his way, or what it was, or they were like trying to make Ricky look more of an underdog, right?
Well, I mean, Ricky should look like more of an underdog. He's
smaller,
just like 15 pounds over a Darby Allin, right? So,
so the match was good. They had a lot. I wouldn't have given it a C. I thought it was at least a B minus. Okay. It ended with he hit him with he got the spear. Then right after the spear, he did a rope, the top rope assisted DDT. Where you run up on the rope and hits the DDT, and he pinned him 1, 2, 3, and it was kind of like that ending was anticlimactic because it kind of like you almost.
Where did that come from?
That, and you almost thought, was Trick supposed to kick out and he missed it? It was almost that, because it was just like that didn't seem like enough to put Trick down. You know what I mean? He hit him with the spear, then he hit him with the little DDT, and that he didn't even do his finisher, the Rochambeau. You know what I mean? It was just the ending was off.
Well, we have to keep in mind that Trick Williams has only been wrestling for like 4 years.
Trick or Ricky?
Trick. Ricky's been around for 15 years.
Okay.
I love Ricky's story about how he was working at a Blockbuster Video, and he got a tryout with WWE. He did the tryout and he quit his job, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, he went back to Blockbuster and said, "Man, I was in a really bad headspace. I wasn't really trying to quit my job. Can I get my job?" Because they never called him back. So when you hear that story, you're like, wow, Ricky's like us. At the same time, having it, like, if you're saying Trick Williams was calling the match, I could kind of see that. I think that when it comes to an NXT style match, he obviously has more experience in the ring in NXT, so he knows where the camera angles are and everything else. So calling specific spots or whatever probably makes sense for it. I have a question for you though, because obviously Ricky Singh still ended up winning this match. He's now beaten the two biggest names in NXT's men's side, and he's beaten them 1, 2, 3, center of the ring. Does it feel like he should be champion? Does he feel like he's proven that he is worth every penny that they spent on him?
He hadn't been here this long and hadn't beat that many people.
Something doesn't feel quite on yet, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when Ethan Page snuck out with that championship, we were like, oh shit. And now we look at what Ethan's doing now, and it's like, man, if they told me tomorrow he's in the world title match, I'm down.
I'm almost thinking that Ethan's going to be the one to take that from Ricky.
I think so too. And didn't they actually have a feud in AEW for a little while?
Yep. And then they had a little mini feud when he first got here too. When Ricky first got here, him and Ethan had a feud.
So one of the things, and this will probably be the last thing I talk about because obviously we have gone long. I apologize for that, Tino. Was I read an article this week about TNA and NXT wrestlers pay based on when they're on the other programs.
Okay. We talked about it before. We kind of we were questioning what is it like. So did you find something?
I found something.
Okay.
Now I didn't find actual dollar figures or anything, but I found out information about it. NXT wrestlers so far have actually not gone on record, but they've off the record stated they haven't gotten anything extra for working the extra dates. Which
even the champions like Kalani and Trick when they were champions over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas TNA wrestlers, if they show up and do a backstage segment, they make a little something. If they show up in a match on NXT, they make a little bit more something. And if they make their way all the way to the main event match, which a couple of them have, they get a much bigger bonus. So I don't know if the WWE has been giving a bonus to the NXT wrestlers that go over there or what have you. But if you remember correctly, the NXT contracts are basically like, hey, we give you food, we give you shelter, we give you matches, and you get free use of the performance center. What if we call you and we tell you that you have to work, you got to work? So it's possible that's they're just saying you get the extra reps by going to TNA. Now, that obviously doesn't work well if they get hurt. But, I mean, so it's interesting. And that may actually have something to do with why the Trick Williams character, when he was the Trick and A champion, was actually sitting there saying, I'm not showing up at your show.
Yeah.
You know, because if you got to be there every week, you're really pulling double time, maybe even quadruple time sometimes, you know? So I did find out a little bit about that, but not a lot, just something. And the last thing that I'm going to mention is that there is a possibility that Chris Jericho, and take this for what it's worth, there are rumors going around the internet that says he has already signed a WWE contract.
Really?
Very.
Just talking about his the cruise, like all the people on the cruise are TNA people. They're not anymore. There's no AEW people. They're TNA and I think a couple of NXT, but mostly TNA.
So take it for what it's worth, but it isn't from a reputable site yet. So when run through like one of the AI bots to figure out how much truth is to it, so far there's nothing that can confirm.
Got it.
But it would not surprise me if in principle Jericho has signed saying that, hey, I'm going to run my last go. And I mean, let's be real. If he's ready to retire, where's the best place for him to go?
WWE.
I mean, Bully Ray this week was talking specifically about how like he would run a 1-year program with Jericho and LA Knight to get LA Knight to the next level. And that would be the last year of Jericho, right? Like Jericho would sit there and win a match, lose a match, win a match, lose, but at the end of the feud would be LA Knight going over and Jericho going off into the sunset, going into the Hall of Fame, doing all that kind of stuff. I'd like to see someone actually like ruin his Hall of Fame speech, causing a WrestleMania match on night 2 of WrestleMania. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, do that.
No, they're not. They're not. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. Got anything else?
Nope. Why does WWE keep getting old people back and not move people up and keep the good people they have old WWE?
Michael just made me want to talk about something else. I'm not going to do it, except for the fact that I'm going to say Braun Breaker is less than 30 years old. Tiffany Stratton is less than 30 years old. There are quite a few people in the WWE that are in really good spots right now that are below the age of 30 that are going to see their star even rise further. So don't always say that, Michael. You're absolutely right. And your answer to your question is really simple. They are a publicly traded company. The bigger names are the older people currently. As they get a Braun Breaker to be one of those top 5 names in the industry, like by the way, under 30, Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a couple weeks ago about Coca-Cola offered her $55 million, right? Well, there you go. There's another one of those people under the age of 30 years old, one of the biggest names in the industry. Dominic Mysterio, 27 years old, one of the biggest names in the industry. Like you look at these folks, they are doing everything they can to build them while also maintaining their main event status with the people that are actually bringing the people into the seats. Disagree? Agree?
Agree.
So and yes, we struggle with a bunch of that because you got your Jey Usos who are 40 years old who they're trying to push to the main event, thinking that they appeal to the younger audience, but their career's on the downside too at this point. So, Tino, I got nothing else. So, sir, I am going to take these things away, put that up like that, and let you tell everybody how to see you.
You can see me. What the fuck is that? Sorry. You can see me. My bank thing beeped at me. You can see me on Insta, SC Tino. You can catch me also on Blue Sky. You can catch me on the TikTok at Tino Argray Music. You can catch us on X, we're Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every week. What are you doing?
So someone actually just started running their engine like they're on a motorcycle outside my house.
You can catch us each and every week right here on the Pots and Pans Network. Please like, subscribe, give us thumbs up, buy our shit. Also, thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. It's still on iTunes for 99 cents. 99
Jones. Sorry, I was trying to go like this to see if your thing would actually put the balloons up and all that. No. Folks, you can catch me on Instagram at Rob Potchak or Rob Potsy Potchak. You can find me on Twitter /X at Potchak. You can find me on just about everything else at Rob Potsy Potchak. With that said, thank you as always. This was episode 430 of the Potsy and Tino Show. And we're going strong. We'll be here next week, as far as I know, right?
You got that right.
All right, folks. Enjoy Monday Night Raw. We'll see you next week. Here we go. We are out. When I hit the button.
Ready? Yeah. Notice you contribute to the Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.
Show.